Nullpoint Protocol is basically a roguelite where instead of fighting waves of small enemies, every single encounter is a full-on boss fight. The whole thing is built around recreating that MMO raid boss experience, specifically taking inspiration of telegraphed attacks and mechanics. What makes this one interesting is that you get all the complexity and intensity of those fights, without having to organize a guild, or grind for hours just to attempt them. Of course there are some drawbacks, and we will have a look at them. Thank you therefore at this point to Everbloom Studios for sponsoring this video, and for fully accepting my editorial independence. So here's how this game works. You start each run at a space station where you pick your starting abilities from a basic set of options. Then you travel through a series of hyperspace jumps, stopping at different planets along the way. At each stop you can find a shop to buy new skills, a rest zone to heal up or train for some extra experience points, or random events that give you choices with different outcomes. Some planets have void shepherds waiting, which are the bosses you're hunting. The boss fights themselves are of course the main attraction. Every shepherd has attack patterns you need to learn and avoid, with telegraphed errors on the ground, showing where damage is coming. There are debuffs that mess with you, DPS checks where you need to burn through something before it wipes you, and phases that change up the fight halfway through. Some of the bosses pull you in, some summon additional minions, some have jumping puzzles or perspective tricks. If you take too long on higher difficulties, there's even a soft enrage mechanic that starts dealing constant damage until you finish the fight. When you actually beat the boss, you get experience to put into one of 3 stats, and a choice of random skills to add to a build. Strength increases damage, Vitality boosts health, and Mind reduces cooldowns. The actual skill system is quite flexible. There is no strict tank healer DPS setup, but there are abilities that let you fill those roles. You can build around direct damage, damage over time effects like burn or bleed, skills that combo together for bonus effects, self-healing, buffing your allies. If you play co-op, whatever works for your playstyle actually. For example, there's this build using a doom effect that deals flat damage regardless of stats, combined with dodging that leaves fire trails. The randomness also means you can't guarantee the same build each time, so you have to adapt to what you find. Your ultimate goal each run is to reach and defeat Void Genesis, the final boss. Between the runs you spend 2 types of currency. The research points let you buy permanent upgrades like extra healing capacity, stat boosts that carry into new runs, and shop improvements. The Void Shepherd currency unlocks new skills that can appear during runs, station upgrades that add features like a trading room, and harder difficulty modifiers if you want more challenge. The game's co-op supports up to 4 players either online or locally with controllers. The difficulty thankfully does adjust based on the party size, and having teammates should open up more strategic options, since you can split roles, help revive each other, and coordinate on mechanics. Playing solo so far is totally viable though, and the game seems to balance quite well around it. There are also 3 difficulty settings you can switch between anytime. A couple issues worth mentioning. The random events between bosses tend to not feel random enough once you have seen them a few times, since the outcomes become predictable, and you end up making the same choices repeatedly. The perspective on some jumping section can also be awkward. It sometimes feels like the character movement is not tight enough, but this can of course also be a skill issue. The game releases April 6 at $15, with the launch discount actually bringing it under 10. There is also a demo available, if you want to try before buying. It's a pretty focused experience that knows exactly what it wants to be. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.